Good morning, writers. It's Joanne Fedler here of SpoonFed Writing Tips, and today I am finalizing the first draft of my new book called Love in the Time of Contempt, Consolations for Parents of Teenagers. I've been working on it for about 18 months now, and today is the final comb through of the text before I decide it's good enough and I send it off to my publisher. What will happen then is that my publisher will have a look at it over the next 6 to 8 weeks and will do what's called a structural edit, which is to read through the whole text and make recommendations about some structural changes that might be necessary. There'll be comments about some things that can be deleted, perhaps where there are gaps in the text, or suggestions about how some of the chapters might be better structured. And I have to say that I love this part of writing a book so much for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm really sick of it. I've been with it for a long time. I've done a lot of research. I've been thinking about it for a long time. And it's like, when you are so deep inside something that you can't really even look at it with an objective eye anymore, that's how I'm feeling. So I cannot wait to send it off, get it off my desk and onto somebody else's desk. I also love the sense that I don't really know what feedback I'm going to get. There are times when I read the text and I think, well, this is really great. And then there are times where I read and I think, this is really crap. And that is completely normal. To be stuck between those two extremes and to not know really what the value of the work you've done is completely normal. So if you ever feel that way about what you're writing, just remember, this is my ninth, but this will be my ninth published book. It never changes. The process never changes. It doesn't get any easier. We always feel that it's, what is the value of what I've actually done? So that's kind of normal. And I remember with one of my last books getting a 23-page report back from my publisher making suggestions about making some structural edits, character arcs, and various other things. And I read through this 23 pages and my heart literally fell into the pit of my stomach thinking, I can't believe it. I've worked on this text for 18 months and there's still so much work to be done. I think this is really where a lot of writers give up and they think that that's a kind of failure. There is no failure in it. The point about having an editor, having a publisher, or other people to help us with our text is that the text is constantly in a process of being refined. And the more eyes that we have on the text, the better it's going to be. Of course, we need to make sure that the people who are looking at our manuscript and who are giving us feedback really do know what they're doing and have the text's best interest at heart. But the really important thing to remember is never to take any of the feedback personally, and also to remember that most of these editorial suggestions are suggestions. If we are the author of a text, we make the decisions about what should happen with those suggestions, but it's kind of important to be quite dispassionate about those suggestions and to look at the suggestions as if they really were made in the best interests of the text, and to separate ourselves from the text. We are not our book. We are not our writing. The writing stands separately from who we are. And the minute we send it off to a publisher, we're actually asking them to prepare it for readers. When we write, we should always be writing towards a reader, but because we're so deep in it, it's really sometimes difficult to see the text from the reader's side. So when an editor looks at it, an editor will come in with the idea that this text needs to be able to reach a reader. So there will be times when we've been a little bit self-indulgent, or something is not really serving the text, it's not really serving the story or making what we've done any better, and there'll be suggestions about editing. Sometimes it's worth fighting for to keep those in, but it's always worth really thinking carefully about the suggestions that are made, because generally speaking, editors who know what they're doing are working to make the text better. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get it off. I'm excited to see what comes back, and then there will be a period of about 4 to 8 weeks where I will rework the text. I will polish it further, and because I will have had these 8 weeks separated from the text, I hope to come back to it with fresh eyes, a renewed sense of purpose and a renewed sense of energy around the text. And then I will keep you updated on the next phase, which is the rewriting phase. And let me tell you, if the writing is fun, the real magic happens in the rewriting, because all the hard work is done. You've got everything down, and now what you're doing is you're polishing, sculpting, and micro what is the right word? You're micro massaging the text. You're making it as beautiful as you possibly can. And so I'm looking forward to that period of time when I'll get back to my text. In the meantime, best of luck with your own writing, and I'll be back again soon with another spoon-fed writing tip.